side of the turnpike. You want to roll up beside me there, Cody? What?
We're hopping stuff.
Hopping.
This is one of the customers. A lot of them kind of load in this familiar way, but this is just a hand ramp, so it'll lay on the back of the trailer right up against the concrete. So my name is Chris Joslin with Joslin Transport. This is my 1988 379 Peterbilt, kind of a rat rod themed truck. We did everything in-house. Bought the truck from a small dealer in Oklahoma. Brought it back, and we just kind of let it go with things that had come up. We did it, some things have changed, but we stretched it out.
Let's walk it.
Yeah, 325-inch wheelbase, running an airliner suspension, so it's off of a Freightliner. We stretched it, double framed it when we stretched it. It's got the same drive line that came in the Freightliner. Cat motor in it, 3406B model. Kind of a story behind that one. I think he had previously made a video where we went in depth with it, but short story is we found the engine in the field, got it running, it didn't blow up, and we turned the fuel up, did a couple things to it. Again, we elaborated it a little bit more the last time, but yeah, just a cool project truck, rat rod theme, drive it every day. We're down here currently in Homestead, Miami, loading nursery stock. We're out of Janesville, Wisconsin, and yeah, this is our ride, or my ride, and 53-foot reefer trailer on here. Normally is what we haul. We do flatbed stuff, dry van stuff, but kind of this time of year and normally during the year we're pulling a reefer. We're a small family-owned and operated company. We run a couple company trucks and some owner-operators with us, and we're going to take on a ride today and show you kind of life behind the wheel and how we pick up nursery stock down here in southern Florida and Homestead, Florida.
Right here, bro.
Ready to roll?
Let's go. Open all the way?
Oh, yeah. Slam it when you get in.
Slam it when I get in? This is my guy, Chris, right here. Oh, that wasn't a slam. Or that's safe. No, it's not.
There you go. It's like a square body Chevy.
Is that what it is? This is my good friend Chris, man. I'm telling you guys, we are on for a ride today.
Yeah.
Someone's actually using their CB radio?
I know. We're gonna go get
Wow.
loaded. Go down to Homestead and get loaded.
All right, yeah. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing today, brother.
Oh, so this is kind of what we do normally. Right now is our busy season, so we wouldn't normally be coming down here. We would be doing the stores and stuff up near Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana area. But obviously we came down to do the 75 Chrome Shop Truck Show. So
Hell
have
yeah.
a lot of fun there, meet a lot of
yeah.
people. Probably overindulge a couple times, but it's a really good time.
Hey, that's what's up, brother. Look at this turn radius, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of truck here.
No, I love it, man. That's great.
So yeah, we're going down to Homestead, picking up flowers, nursery stock. Again, we've been hauling for this particular company I have for like the last 3 years. And real good people to work with. Every time we come down to Florida, we just basically bring whatever coming down here, and we always have the same stuff coming back up. Load Miami, Homestead area, sometimes Orlando. I may pronounce it wrong, Hoka. Areas like that around Orlando, and haul them straight back to Michigan. As soon as we can get it back, they're ready for it, and they take it in, do a little box and distribution. Sometimes they cut them depending on what they are, and ship them out, and then they go to a store near you.
That's what
I don't know
love,
how
brother.
in depth you want me to go, because I can.
Oh, I want people to cry. I want people to cry, Chris. I mean, you know, while you're turning right now, we'll wait till you know, you're driving straight. Don't look at the camera. Don't worry. We're
No,
hanging
no,
out.
I'm looking at GPS.
So, I mean, how long have you been truck driving, brother?
So I've been driving commercial vehicles since I was 18. I started out in a day cab, hauling a walking floor trailer, doing like mulch and topsoil and stuff. And did dump truck, running like asphalt at night, hauling asphalt, doing millings and stuff. And kind of, I guess you would say, like I cut my teeth with backing and learning a lot of the maneuvers by running that day cab with the walking floor trailer and the dump truck. Get a little bit of experience. When we were running like mulch and topsoil, you know, these big commercial landscape companies would have them delivered to a McDonald's. So, you know, they would be building the McDonald's, you'd be zigzagging in there.
Yeah.
Getting the trailer kind of closer to where they would want it so they didn't have to move it so much. So you kind of really, you know.
I bet that's where you got a lot of that experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, straight out of the gate, man, I mean, are you a generational truck driver? What made you want to do this straight out of the gate, Chris?
Actually, I'm the first time truck driver.
No,
Yeah,
you're not.
Yeah.
I would not believe that, seriously.
My dad, my mother, my grandfather, you know, I don't really know anybody close to my family that had drove truck. I know, nobody that would be close enough kin to be in relation.
So what made you want to go ahead and do it so quick? I mean, so young.
I always like kind of had a love for trucks. So my dad was in the military growing up, and we traveled a little bit growing up. I grew up in Virginia. My dad got stationed in Hawaii. I was actually born in Hawaii.
Oh, are you? So you're Hawaiian and...
Technically, yeah. I was born in Hawaii during the end of his first deployment there, and we traveled back across. Of course, I don't remember that because I was so young, but we went back in the, I want to say mid 90s or so. Lived there for 3 years. I remember that. And so when we traveled, my mom, I'd always tell my mom, I want to drive truck when I get older, you know. And
what'd she think about that, brother? She was like, go to college,
my
son.
mom's like, yeah, he'll grow out of it, you know. Do something else. And you know, we'd do road trips and stuff, and I could like just look at the headlights on the truck and know, hey, that's a Mack, that's a Kenworth, that's a Peterbilt, you know. And my dad, if you'd asked him, he'd tell you the same thing. He said, yeah, I don't know how or where I learned it from, but I would just do stuff like that. I was always mechanical. My granddad, deceased now, but growing up, he was old school hot rodder. We went to like the Hot Rod Nationals up in Pennsylvania. He built like a T-Bucket, some other cars. So that was like my mechanical background.
Now, if you were to describe your grandfather in a few words, what would those words be, brother?
I love that man to death. You know, I spent a lot of time with him when I was younger. Kind of your old school hot rodder, you know, like doesn't really take shit from anybody. He was in the Navy, you know, loved turning wrenches, but also, you know, if I was working on something and didn't quite do it right, you know, he'd tell me I was stupid and let me know that wasn't the right way to do it. But a good guy, you know, a good guy. I did learn a lot from him, you know, during the time that I was around and had him. So
no, that's awesome.
Just a great guy.
Would you say if he was he's down looking at you now, what would he say about you, brother?
I think he'd be happy. I talked to him a little bit. He got cancer real bad and it kind of snuck up on him real quick. So I got to see him. Shortly before he passed away, but I think he'd be real proud. You know, if he
I think so too, brother.
Yeah.
I think so too. And you know, if you guys are wondering why my camera is jumping around more than usual, I mean, what year truck is this, man? Talk about it a little bit.
So it's an 88, kind of, I guess you would describe it as a rat rod. You know, it's not perfect show truck. You know, we obviously put it in the show, but just because that's what I like to do. I enjoy to do it. You know, people pick at things, they like things, they don't like things, but we built this in our shop from the day I bought it to everything you see now. So stretching it, engine, transmission, Cody, the driver, and the other truck behind me. You know, a lot of nights we were laying up underneath here, putting the transmission in it, doing a little bit of everything. So it's kind of cool that, you know, we bought it had a story kind of when we bought it. We did a bunch of things to it, and we run it and just have fun with it. You know, it's not anything perfect. I don't think it'll ever be perfect, but I love driving it, and I'll drive it until they tell us we can't drive the old trucks anymore. So I'll be the last one on the road with some old truck, but I love it.
I'll tell you, man. You know, a lot of people, they worry about what's going to happen to trucking, and you know, the younger generation and what they're going to do with it. And I'll be honest, brother. If you're a part of this, Chris, I think trucking might be okay, brother.
Yeah. So when I was younger and still young now, I'm 31.
I know. So wait up. Give me the years. How many years have you been trucking? Wait up. You said 18, right?
Yeah.
18 to 31.
18 to 31. 18 to 21, I was local. You know, I couldn't go out of state. Did a little bit of everything. You know, a lot of traffic coming up here.
Slowing down up here, Cody.
18 to 21, kind of did a little bit of everything. I always rent, so I wasn't like full-time over the road or doing it every single day.
Is it real backed up back here, or just kind of traffic through Miami? 10-4.
But yeah, so did a little bit of everything. Drove single-axle dump trucks, tandem dump trucks. My boss I was working for at the time had a bunch of dump trucks, and you know, there was day cabs, walking floor trailer, and I kind of pushed on him. I didn't go to like a truck driving school or anything like what you'd see. So when I got my license, again, you know, not that long ago, but a little while ago, I went to the DMV, got my learner's permit. You know, took the book home, studied it, went, got my learner's permit, and what you had to do, basically to qualify to get your license, you had to spend so many hours in a truck driving with somebody that had a CDL. And you know, I had been driving kind of
Yeah,
before,
look at that
around
smile.
the
You're
clock.
like,
Some other things. So I met the DOT officer at the power facility in my small little town. She did my pre-trip with me and then a road test. And actually, the first time I took the test for my A, I failed it.
how did you feel, Chris?
I failed the pre-trip.
Did you cry? I would have cried a little bit, a little teary.
I was pretty upset because I had to wait like a whole nother month, you know, and you think you're going to come home, but I failed it for a couple of different, well, one in particular. You know, I was very good. I obviously had worked on these things, and yeah, I'd say, hey, you need to check your oil, but apparently you need to say, hey, if you check your oil and if it's low, add it. And those were just little things that they needed to hear that I, you know, obviously knew if I checked it and it was low to add some, but I didn't say it.
Any advice for the new people that are getting on that are having problems right now with the written portion of the test, you know?
I'd say tag along with somebody you know that drives, or somebody you look up to, or, you know, if you got a company around you that works on trucks, you know, just maybe not necessarily say, hey, you want to work there and, you know, draw a paycheck, but just spend a little time with somebody that you know, and you know, they'll usually steer you in the right direction.
I love it. You know, let's talk about it. So you worked for a company, Chris, for a couple years.
Yep.
And you know, people might not know, but you actually owned Jocelyn Transport. Is it transportation? I apologize.
Nope, it's transport. Yep.
And so Jocelyn Transport, you are a young man to be owning a trucking business, sir.
Well, not as young, you know. I met a lot of good guys in Wildwood that, you know, are 10 years ahead of me.
I know. So. We met Jordan. I met like JT Baker. They're like 23, 24 with like 3, 4, 5 trucks already, owner op.
And I think that's awesome. You know, like everybody has different views on it, but like I want to see everybody succeed. If you're a hard worker, you're motivated what you want to do. If I can help you out, or you know, you help me out, however it works. But like I want to see us all succeed. I'm not the type that's like, I just want me to go forward and, you know, get left in the dust, get left in the dust. So I think that's awesome. They have a head start on it.
I'm jealous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm jealous. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Of course, mother truckers, we're in traffic. You know, Chris warned me. He says, I got this old truck. We don't got AC. And I said, don't worry about it. But, you know, of course, we're going to be stuck. You know, God is playing his joke on us today, hanging out with us.
Love it. Get my tan on, you know, enjoy the heat.
Enjoy the heat, right? But this is trucking right here, baby.
Exactly.
You better love every piece of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you coming into this industry thinking you're going to make some money, it's a rude awakening. You better love it. Because if you don't love it, you're going to quit before everybody else, man. That's the truth. So let's talk about this. You know, you were a company driver for a couple of years. And when did you decide, or when was the feeling that you knew it was like that aha moment, Chris, where you're like, shit, I want to be an owner-op?
Yeah. So I was a company driver, obviously, for a while. I actually drove for a couple different companies. I won't name them just because I don't know if they want to be named or not.
Not a problem. That's respect. Respect.
But I work for a couple good people. I always believe one thing, never burn a bridge. You never know what you may need in the future or what you do, and that actually has kind of helped us out because we still haul for a company that I used to work for.
There you go. Don't burn bridges.
No, we haul stuff in their yard. They're, a good supplier of that. But I always wanted to own my own truck. Having a mechanical background, I always thought, hey, maybe I would buy one, just fix it up, run it around, or maybe eventually run it. But there was never a right time. Man, I think you guys got a lot of blow by. It's gonna have some problems, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, so I actually got out of trucking for a couple months. I left a company that I worked for. Really loved them. Had no problems, but we had our firstborn son, and I wanted to be home more. I think everybody probably at some point in their career has experienced that. So I got a job offer with Caterpillar, and they offered me a real sweet job being an annual tech. Got my own service truck, took it home, just worked on equipment, and kind of could do whatever I wanted. And as far as a company aspect job, if I were to work for a company, that would be the perfect for me. I love working outside, love working on stuff. But we did that, and it's kind of one of them things that gets stuck in you and in your blood, and you do it for so long. It's hard to do that 9 to 5 or a normal job.
And it was calling you back, baby.
Yup, so I probably did it at the worst time. I got some advice from a couple different people, and this saying is always stuck in my head. It's never the right time to do anything. So you're always going to have an excuse. There's always going to be, man, I don't have the money. I shouldn't switch it right now. Maybe it's next year. And I'm the type that, doesn't always work for everybody, but I'm ready to do it. I'm going to make the move. I'd rather try it out now, fail at it, find out I don't like that, and move on to something else than live in any kind of regret. So I quit, bought a truck. I think I heard another guy on one of your videos say it, but my kind of upbringing with it was very similar. I had a pickup truck that I drove every day, and I sold it, and the money I got from that pickup I used to basically pay our bills in the house and feed our kid at the time. And I told them, I said, look, I'm going to do everything I can for as long as I can until we're built back up and have some maintenance fund, but I'll work every day 24/7 if I have to. And I still, try to keep that same work ethic, but I worked my butt off, saved up.
How much money did you save up?
I think our goal at first was to get a maintenance account up to like 10 grand. Truly, I don't know if we ever did that at first because things come up. We had truck problems, issues, things like that. But to get within reason where we weren't sweating it as bad, that was my first goal. So take that notch off your belt, move on. Now your next goal is to build this account, or maybe your next goal is to buy your own truck. When I bought the truck, I was leased on, kind of a family friend. Still talk to her today. Again, don't burn bridges. And there's a lady. I was leased to her. She treated me real well. We worked together. I actually started working with her when I got the contract for what we do now.
Oh, wow.
And what it ended up kind of making the push for me, I never really had a big idea that, hey, man, I was going to get my authority like now. I knew that was like the next step, but it wasn't kind of in my vision at that particular time. But kind of my hand got forced, and, it was a good thing. Scary.
How scared? Let's talk about the scared when you guys just jump and do it. Let's talk about that for a second, brother.
So the way they explain it is if, maybe some people have been in this situation, but put everything you've had in your life in other people's lives, meaning if you have a wife or a girlfriend or, kids, and you're kind of putting their, I'm not going to say livelihood, but kind of what their future looks like at risk. Put all that on the plate plus anything that belongs to you, and it could go poof if something doesn't go right. And it's 5 or 6 things that could go wrong, and one of those things will take it at all. And that's what happened. We got our own authority. We had talked with a couple people, but the problem is, I'll say this, but the problem is I knew a lot of people that said, oh yeah, you just do this, you just do that. And I'm not going to name any names, but I called them up and I'm like, well, hey, what do I need? What does this form mean? What do I? And they're like, oh, well, I didn't do it. This guy did it. And I run, so I never could get to the guy that actually got his own authority. And I wasn't going to call maybe one of my employers, and I'm sure he's got a busy schedule to talk to me about how to start my own stuff. So we researched it online. my girlfriend Becky, really like huge help, even to this day with admin stuff and doing paperwork. But we looked at what forms we needed. There were companies that you could go and apply, and they would take care of all of it, like a permit service.
Yeah, you can go all of them, right? I'm not gonna name them, but you guys can look them up.
Correct.
Find the one you want, and they'll do it all for you. They'll do your MC, your authority. They'll do everything, you know, help you with your EIN number, you know, whatever you need. And of course, the biggest one, insurance.
Right. So that was the big one. That, I'm not going to say it's the easy part, but that's fairly simple to get those things filled out. But your insurance, your driving record, and when you get your authority, you're a new entity. You got a fresh DOT number. You don't have any marks on your record, but you also don't have any history. It's like credit. So there's only a couple insurance companies out there that will insure a new authority.
I hate to say their names, but one is Progressive.
Yeah, Progressive. Great West says they will, but realistically,
They
at least
don't.
in my case, it's unaffordable. So
Yeah.
they physically will, but you know.
Who has $57,000 for the year?
Right. And you know, so that's a fairly decent sized lump sum up front. And you know, once you sign that and say, hey, look, I'm going to pay this big insurance note, every month that bill comes, and you better make sure that when your insurance comes valid and you're ready to run, that you're running, because that next month you're going to have that payment up. So now you have debt, you know.
So with all that fear, and we're telling people the truth, and that's why we make these videos. You're glad you did it.
Yeah. So now, you know, I'm happy doing it all over again. I probably would have done things differently because I did have to learn some things a lot harder.
Well, wait up. Give me a second.
So, yeah, there were things that you had to learn, things that you found out, you know, things that you need for this, dealing with brokers, terms, who you're hauling for. You know, a lot of these brokers are 30, 60, 90 days out, you know, and you can choose if you want to go through factoring companies, or, you know, if you get maybe like a contract that you're more in with them and they pay you directly, or it's just
So let's talk about it, Chris. Factoring, good or bad?
So I'm not a very good probably person to talk to on, because I haven't factored. Never factored.
Well, I've noticed that most people that have stayed in business don't factor.
I would say this. So, long story short, if you need to do it, you need to do it. There's no shame in it. I mean, especially when you're starting new, you're not going to have all this money. I mean, who can sit for 30, 60, 90 days? I mean, we're by any means not a huge company. We're a small fleet. There are definitely cases that I probably couldn't sit 60 days. I mean, you got trucks running out west, you know, fuel's going up, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, you know, not that high yet, but per truck, depending on how many trucks, that's a lot of money, you know. And if you go through a fuel network, again, credit comes into play. You know, we deal with our fuel in-house, so we do it off of a bank card. We use apps like Mudflap and some other stuff, and we deal with NASDAQ. They have discounts, but just we could go into a long spat of here's what you need, here's what you got to do. Here's
People
what
want to
this looks
know.
like.
And you know what? Actually, Mother Truckers,
And we sit down, we'll do that.
we're going to sit down and I'm going to fly out to Wisconsin for you, or drive down there. I do it for the Mother Trucker community and everybody, because just like Chris talks about, everybody and their mama likes to say, oh yeah, it's easy. But then when you ask them how to exactly do it, for some reason no one has the answers.
Right.
So that's going to be a great video, brother.
Yeah, looking forward to it, you know. And remember too, you know, I'm not an expert with this. I had to learn a lot, still learning. I'll learn until the day I die. And I have leaned on people, and people have helped me get where I'm at. So don't ever, you know, turn down help. I'd say listen, even if you don't use what they tell you, listen to it, you know. And I have reached out to quite a few people and said, hey man, I'm in a pickle with this, you know, what would you do? What would you do that? And, you know, help. And another thing, before we'll have a whole segment on this, I guess you said you wanted to come up, but also learn what you're not good at and delegate that. Find somebody that has your strengths, or, you know, are their weakness, and their strengths are your weakness, because that will make for an awesome team. Because I'm not good, honestly, with a lot of the admin and paperwork stuff. Can I physically do it? Yes, but that's just, I don't have good handwriting, you know, that's just not, I'm not saying everybody loves doing it, but I know that that's my weak point, you know. So I know that if you were to hire me,
Don't hire Chris for the
don't hire me in your accounting department, is what I'm saying.
No, I love it.
But yeah, but shop things, and you know what things cost, and parts, and how much repair bills, and very
out to anyone out there.
Yeah. So again, back home, Becky, my kids, I love y'all very much. I appreciate you, dealing with Dad being gone all the time, and I just hope that my kids, when they grow up, understood that Dad had to be gone for a long time, and still a long time to make things work. But they're strong. We're strong. We'll get through it. And everybody that is in the trucking community, I think everybody deserves to thank you. There's plenty of drivers out here, same as me, same situation. Got kids at home. I've met a lot of good people even the last couple of years that same kind of area as me, either have a couple trucks or have more than a couple trucks. And awesome, thank you. All our help, people that help us out, drivers. I think you'll talk to one of them later today and tomorrow and get his story. And I think that's cool.
Other side of the turnpike. You want to roll up beside me there, Cody? What? I said when we make this right going back south to continue on the turnpike, you want to roll up beside me for a little bit? Yeah.
People always cut you off. That guy cut us off. How do you feel when people cut you off?
I just, wish people would realize that these things aren't cars. They don't stop as quick. And, people are just so busy with their phone and not paying attention to what they're doing,
Yeah, they're in their cars getting interviews.
Yeah. Getting interviews and doing everything they shouldn't do. But no, I don't know. Somebody told me a while back that the best explanation I found was it's a dead time. Drivers and even local delivery drivers, we're all out here for a reason because it's your job to be out here. But most people that are commuting to and from work, they're only out here because they're commuting or they have something they need to go do. So it's dead time to them. So they're thinking about what's on TV when they get home, what they're cooking for dinner, who's messaging them, and they're not paying attention as much as they should. I think
that makes sense. That does make sense.
There are bad truck drivers out there, but I would say that the percentage of bad cars probably still outweigh that by
1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hopping stuff.
Hopping. Welcome to Homestead.
Chris and I were just having a conversation off camera, but I hate to say it, but a lot of people make excuses for their life, right? A lot of people always say, woe's me, I can't make it, my parents weren't rich. What are your thoughts about that, Chris, honestly, man?
So kind of inspire me is not what you have or what your ambitions are. I mean, you could not want anything to do with the trucking industry, whatever. I enjoy being around people that are motivated. Doesn't mean that they have money or they do have money or whatnot, but just somebody that's motivated, that will work as hard as they need or harder to get where they want. Those are the people that I like to surround myself with. Again, there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't matter if they're in the same business or do the same things or have money, don't have money. There are a lot of lazy people in this world that are a lot of woe me or what can I get for free, and I just, for me, I don't like being around those type of people, or I don't like surrounding myself with those type of people. I don't like pity parties. I understand there are certain things in life that are woe me and unfortunate, and I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about your average, fairly healthy person that could do something with their life. Sitting at home, or they're talking about what they could do and they're not doing it. And I made a comment to him. I said, regardless what happens or happens in the future, or You know, if I lost everything tomorrow and McDonald's was the only job I would work, I'd work 150 hours a week if I have to. You know, if that meant to support my family and then know I needed to save up X amount of dollars so I could restart this, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You know, it's not, I don't feel like I'm the only one that has this. I think a lot of people that are either motivated for one or an entrepreneur or in the business field have that same drive and passion. Like, there are no rules to how hard or what. You know, if it means day and night, if it means not getting any sleep, if it means doing this, you'll do it. No questions asked. I was telling him also, you know, there are limitations, like as you get older, like with your family. If you're married, if you have a girlfriend, if you have kids, you know, you have to understand that you do have some limitations because you are putting them through it in a sense. You know, you're 80, 90%, whatever you want to average it, is on you, but at the end of the day, they're carrying some of the weight, even though you're putting in the work, because they're suffering by not having a dad, not having a partner in life, not doing this. So what I would say is don't be lazy. We can get along, but I enjoy motivated people. You know, that's
all right. Fine, Chris.
started.
I'll get out of the truck. I get out of the truck at this stop sign. No, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. Hell yeah. I'm sorry to say, Chris, but it's hot as shit in here, man. How the hell did I get my window down?
Oh, you want your window down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Watch this.
Whoa! What the hell?
Air, buddy. It's still on air. Yeah, air-operated windows in this old girl.
Hey, I love it. That was nice.
No air ride on this cab.
I can feel it, Chris.
Real man's truck.
Yes, Chris.
Got a line of trucks. We should have pretty good pull here, so should be getting in there. Look at that. Look at that.
Barely.
Barely.
Barely, sir. Barely.
rolling some plants in. this is one of the customers. A lot of them kind of load in this familiar way, but this is just a hand ramp, so it'll lay on the back of the trailer right up against the concrete. And then this conveyor belt will actually roll all the way to the front of the trailer, and they'll set the plants on the conveyor belt and just set them up in there. They load them by hand, so somebody would be putting them on the belt, somebody would be taking them off on the end of the trailer. And this particular trailer has an E-track, so sometimes they will either use load bars, or they're just a clamp that you can put a 2x4 in, and they'll do it around the whole length of the trailer and double stack them. So you'll have a row on the bottom and a row on the top to try to get the most in the trailer, because it's not really weight restricted. You can have a full load of these and they don't really weigh all that much. It just takes up space.
Music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.